Hey, this is John Carlos, and I am here with a look at the Hot Toys 6-scale figure of Doc Brown from Back to the Future Part 3. There's essentially two looks you can achieve with this figure. There's the cowboy look, and then there's the formal look, which is what you get right out of the packaging, minus the bow tie and the pocket watch, which I won't be putting on because I'm going to be displaying him as the cowboy. But let's just go in and take a closer look at this anyway, because the formal coat is a very nice looking coat. The pattern on it's just awesome. The tailoring on the vest, the little bit of pattern work on the shirt is all very nice. The pants are well done, and the shoes have a very nice kind of design to them. They kind of read like leather, considering the sculpt of them. They actually look really good. Yeah, tailoring on the pants, tailoring on the suit coat, the little flap in the back, really good. Even his little undershirt underneath his main shirt, well done. But we got to talk about this head. First off, the previous Doc head from Part 1 and Part 2 was an absolute nightmare that I hated. So this is an improvement. The hair is considerably an improvement, and the face is an improvement. It's just so dark. Now, I do recall Doc Brown getting some sun in 1885, so I do, he should have a tan, and the light from this light I'm using does brighten it a bit, but let me tell you, this is a very dark looking face for Doc Brown. But the sculpt on the mouth, the stubbling for the paint, the eyes, this is really good work. The nose, it definitely reads like Christopher Lloyd, so I'm happy with this. Especially, I think the paintwork on the eyebrows is pretty solid. The hat looks good too, especially the little feathery stuff on the side. But let's go look at the accessories. First, let's take a close look at this bow tie, which, with the pocket watch, complete the look of his formal look. There's some nice detail on this pocket watch, not just on the face itself, but that little design on the back. Very tiny detailed work. I think it looks really cool. We also get wrist pegs. Those wrist pegs go to these trigger finger hands. Not a lot of hands with this Doc, just these two alternates. Some figures come with like 10 alternate hands, whatever. We have his little radio with the super battery that charges it. The antenna on that radio does pull out, and this little tape kind of does. The tape's already starting to lift off a little bit along the side of this. We also get this handkerchief, which goes around his neck. That kind of completes the cowboy look. Speaking of cowboy, we get his pistol, which does have the little hammer go back, and this little thingy on the side does kind of pop out, so it's neat that it can do that. We have the little replica of his little makeshift model time machine for explaining how they're going to get back home on the train tracks. The fact that it's got these little wooden painted wheels that actually rotate, that's awesome. I think this is a really, really, really fun accessory. We have the holster for his pistol. Some nice little leather work there. The little buckle there actually looks really nice. Lastly, well, second to lastly, but last main accessory we get is his crazy rifle that'll shoot the fleas off a dog at 500 yards or whatever. This little thingy moves, but the metalwork looks good. The woodwork on it looks really, really cool. I think this looks freaking awesome, and I'm so glad that Hot Toys included it. Now, lastly, we get the figure stand. I like the design on the figure stand. The nameplate looks nice, and it comes with a little, like, ball cup thing. Changing him into his cowboy look wasn't difficult. It was slightly more time-consuming than I thought it would be. It is worth noting that he does actually use the pocket watch in his cowboy look. The difference is the vest is closed in formal and it's open in the cowboy look. So you do have to thread the pocket watch through this hole in his vest and then tuck the pocket watch into that pocket. And the difficult part, not that difficult, but still tucking the end of the chain into that pocket, I had to use a little tool to stuff it in there. Also worth noting that the belt, the holster and belt, pretty easy to put on. You just have to use nimble fingers to thread the little pokey thing through the hole and the rest through the little belt slot there. The coat itself looks really cool. There is a wire in it, so you can kind of flare it out into any dramatic position you want to. It does have a little slit in the back, which I think is good for the nut cup grabbing figure stand. Buttons on it look nice and all that. Also, the scarf, it comes out of the package folded really thin. You want to fluff it out a little bit, but I don't want to fluff it too big that it looks gigantic on him, but it is supposed to hang a little loose and hang a little triangular. So I might work on that a bit, but for the most part I kind of am digging this look. I'm also just digging the look of him with the pistol in his hand. You know, it is the Old West. He does look cool if you want to bring the bandana up to complete the whole like train robbery look. But I gotta say, with the open vest and the handkerchief, I think this really is like the look for the figure. I really dig it quite a bit. The only thing worth noting that was difficult about changing over Doc into the cowboy look was that his original coat was really tight to pull off, because for some reason they gave this figure really big biceps. Like, this Doc is buff, and it took me a while to like get the shoulders to get past the bicep. It took more than just the usual pulling of the arms back and bending the elbows back. It was a bit. Anyway, this figure honestly kind of exceeded my expectations. I think it looks a lot cooler on the tabletop, on the shelf, than I was anticipating, and I was already, you know, just looking forward to it. But one thing I got to show you guys. I've complained in the last few Hot Toys reviews I've done where they include the bendy arm with the big clamp that pinches the fabric. This figure's got a nice open spot in the back of the coat where the nut cup grabber can go and not impede on any part of the fabric. I'm really digging this figure stand. I think the details on this figure are freaking great. I think he looks so cool holding this rifle. I think that the head has a very kind of serious, kind of dramatic look, which fits Doc and his energy in 1885. All the details on this are great. I mean, I could just kind of repeat myself and rave over and over about how much I like this figure, but I think you get it. I like this figure, especially considering the fact that I think Hot Toys really just effed us, just effed everybody with their pretty shitty face sculpt for Doc Brown Parts 1 and 2. This is a much more welcome improvement. This is a much better head. I dig this a lot. The only thing I could say is, you know, going with the formal look. The only way I would go with the formal look over the cowboy look, which I think is way more iconic, is if Hot Toys or some other third-party vendor made the big clock tower face. Then I would do like kind of formal Marty, formal Doc, standing next to the clock tower. That would be kind of cool. As it stands though, as this figure stands though, come on, this is so cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure, and if you want to be up to date with all my latest reviews, be sure to click subscribe.